Howdy folks, Grok the Evil Scientist here, and today we're going to talk modded Minecraft, advanced genetics. Muahahah. Here, I'm in my evil lab inside my base on the Nemesis server, and this is the... Oh, hello test subject beta, why are you glitching through the floor? Well, I'll deal with you later. And we also have another test subject over here who's decided to stick his head in the wall. Oh, good. This is the setup I use typically when starting up on a survival world, when I want to extract the genes from some evil set of creatures, or harmless set of creatures. The nice thing about advanced genetics is being able to get these characteristics from mobs, like from the pigmen, being able to be immune to lava, or my favorite, from the bat, the ability to fly and to night vision. There are no light sources in here, these poor guys are in the dark, but I see everything fine because I have the bat genes that allows me to see. So this is the setup I have, and we're going to make that today. These are the construction items that we will need for making those machines, and you can see them right here. This is a bunch of fuel for powering them, but there's one set of resources that we are missing. We need 26 cells. These things right there, cells. We need 26 of them, and to get them we need to scrape cells off of mobs, and to do that let's grab 2 of those and 1 of them, and let's make our first tool. That's the scraper. We need sticks or rods, and we can do that since I've got cobble. We'll make some sticks. And let's make ourselves a scraper. Alright, with the scraper we can now come up to a creature, whether it's a passive mob or an angry hostile mob, and right click and it will scrape off scales from that mob. I constantly am saying skin cells, but it's actually skin scales. And we need 26 of them to make into cells so that we can have it here for the construction items. I find the mining world to be the best place to grab those sort of cells. So let's get there. I'm here in the mining world, and it really doesn't matter what creature we get those skin scrapings from, so why the mining world? Well, I'll tell you. There are lots of mobs out here in the mining world, and we can just grab the skin scrapings from any one of them. Him. Haha, you are my test subject. Give me your skin. Oh, yes. Oh. It does damage them, but I don't care. I'm an evil scientist today. Give me your skin. Oh, I have enough, and I have filled up my inventory, so I know I have enough for what I need. Off we go. Back in our lab, and I'm going to toss a few of these cells in there for storage, and I'm grabbing the oak. Let's make ourselves a quick chest. We will actually be using that for something else later, but for right now we'll just toss the chest in there, and let's get rid of all these skin scrapings. It would be nice if I could just double click them all. Oh, filled it up. Toss the rest in here. It would be nice if I could just click and copy them over, but I've never seemed to be able to do that. Well, we got our 26 plus items that we need. We need to start the first creation. This is the analyzer, and it looks like it's just 8 pieces of iron, but there's a little extra piece in here, the magnifier. My main complaint with crafting this advanced genetic stuff, that is so hard to see. But I need a stick and a piece of glass. We can do that. There's a stick And I need a piece of glass. There's the glass. There's my magnifier. And again, it's so hard to see. But that goes there. We're surrounded by iron. Voila, our analyzer. Let's just stick that next to our test subject. You will get processed soon. So there's our analyzer, but it needs power. It has no power whatsoever. If I grab a quick bit of cells here, keep calling them cells. They're not cells, they're scrapings. I tossed them in there. Now they're scales. It's got no power. We need to power it with something. It doesn't accept MJ, it doesn't accept RF, it doesn't accept the energy that AE uses. The only thing I found that will reliably power it is the combustion generator that you can make within advanced genetics. Don't use the Ender IO combustion generator, it's the wrong one. So 2 furnaces, spider eye, and that. Well, we can do this. I'm going to make 2 because we need 2 generators in my setup. So there's the reason for the 2 spider eyes. And let's put in some iron and some more iron. There, our 2 generators. You go there and you go there. Now we can power this up, but first we need some fuel. I thought I grabbed it, but I didn't. And we'll just toss in 1 piece of fuel at a time. The more you toss in there, it just burns it up and it makes no sense. So avoid that, just put in 1 piece of fuel at a time. And this will take some time. Sadly, it will take a good amount of time. I'm partway through grinding through the 26 scrapings into cells, and I thought I'd just show you this quick little thing to speed things up. If you put an enter conduit like this so that it extracts from the bottom of the analyzer into a chest, then you can just sit there and pump in your scrapings and it will automatically extract those plus the leftover organic drops and dump them into the chest. So far there's nothing there. One of the things while saying this, if you go away and come back, it's possible for this to reset, which is really annoying. I tend to just stay here. Also, if things have dropped here and the power is still going down, it's still processing. So you want to wait and just keep an eye out that. So we saw the cell, it was there, and it's now in the chest. So I can just sit here and go next and continue on pushing the things through. A little bit less work, but you know, it's not really necessary, but I figured I'd show you how you could set that up to help speed up some of the process. 9 hours later. Well, more like 15, 20, but I've got my 26 cells, some leftovers, and a little bit of organic drops. Those you can burn in the combustion generators, but for right now we've got these. Let me grab them, because we will be using them in our building. Oh, 1 leftover that I can't hold. We have our analyzer in place. The next thing we need to create is the extractor. And for that, we need a basic DNA dictionary. And here's where we start consuming cells. And unfortunately, the cells will not get put into the crafting station for us. I'm going to go ahead and make all of these dictionaries because we're going to need 6 of them. So I'm going to do that right now. And now we have room to get that one. So we have everything in hand at this point. Oh, and we need this chest back. Come here, chest. Punch, 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 punch. Chest. We need to make a hopper out of him. Now we can make our extractor. There's our extractor. Put you right up there. Below that, we'll make the decrypter. You go right there. And then after the decrypter is the splitter. And that's where our diamond gets used. Splitter goes right there. obscuring my viewport to the blood, which is sad. Then after the splitter, we need a breeder, and that uses the wheat as a new piece. Breeder there. And then after the breeder comes the combiner. Oh, and here we need a syringe, which we don't have yet. For that we need glass bottles and arrows and stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and create these. And now we can create the syringes, which we got one right there. Let's create that, all 6 of them. And now we can create our combiner, and again, because of the cells, it won't complete, so we'll just put that there. They go there, one of those, and if I remembered the recipe right, there's our combiner. Okay, combiner goes here, and then our final piece is the centrifuge, and that does those. And again, sadly, the syringes don't get placed, nor do the cells, which would be nice if they did, but they don't. Dictionary in the center, and then iron around. There's our centrifuge, and we have crafted everything, and we have one leftover stick and a leftover syringe. But we will be using the syringe, so it's not actually left over. There's our centrifuge, and we have a complete setup for processing genes. Well, what are we going to process? That's a very good question. I'm going to grab a safari net and head out to the caves and see what I can find. The typical thing that I start off with, if I can, is a bat. We'll see if I can find a bat or a zombie first. Let's go. Oh, I found a bat. Alright, bat, you are going to be mine. Come here, come here, come here. Oh, got him. First click. Got him in my safari net. Alright. Now to take him back to base. Back in the lab with my bat in the safari net. I could just release him in here and hunt him down. It's a sealed room, so there's no way he can escape out some vent. But there's so many clickable things that it would be a pain. So I'm going to stick him in a little box here and still access him with my scraper. Give me your cells. Oh, I want your stuff. Ha! You're going to be a lovely test subject. Come. Give me your stuff. And he is dead. And lots of cells left over. Cool. Let's go ahead and pump these into... Why are you not going in? Oh, that's because my magnet is grabbing all these extra bits. Alrighty. We have all the bat genes, or scrapings. Now we need to process them through this. Let's dump off some stuff. You can go away, you can go away. And I'm going to grab a couple of these skin cells. Power this guy up. One piece of fuel is sufficient to power up these machines almost completely. So we'll toss in the... So that's why I'm saying do one piece at a time. While I just had the one machine, one piece of coal fueled it twice, enough for 2 processes to go through, when I could fuel all 4 of these for 2 processes each. The power consumption on the advanced genetics is kind of buggy, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and continue on. We have a cell of a bat. That goes into our extractor, which happily is faster than the analyzer. When this is done, we will have a helix that is encrypted. And I can tell you already that the F17 AAA is a basic gene. So let's process that, and while that's going on, I'm going to do another one of these. So back to here. The decrypter is taking the encrypted helix and figuring out what that gene is. It's a basic gene. And with a basic gene, you toss it into the splitter, and we are going to isolate just that basic gene out of there. There can be multiple genes inside of a helix, and in this case we just want the one. We don't need the entire helix, just that gene that we're interested in. And there's our basic gene. Are you done? You are done. Let's come back to here. We might not have enough power. Yeah, we're just a little bit low. So we'll grab a cup of the organic drop, toss that in. Those will burn. And we're still just a little bit low. I could just toss in another piece of coal, but I'm going to conserve just a little bit. Plus I got those for free. The power is going down, but it doesn't look like it's actually doing anything. Is it? It is. Kind of the glitchy stuff that goes on. This gene here, or this helix here, has a much bigger chunk. I can see the F17 AAA in it. That tells me that there's a basic gene in it, but there's also something else, which I don't recognize off the top of my head. Let's decrypt it. Hopefully it's flight, because I'm more interested in the fly than I am in the night vision. We'll see what we get. Done. Yay, fly. So in here, we'll toss that in, and we want to chop out fly. While that's doing that, I'm going to power up this machine so that the breeder now has power. Back to the splitter. Chop. Okay, we've got... okay, here we got our gene of fly. Let's toss that into here. And we need to breed that gene to make a completed gene, and it's going to require 28. I think that's the most expensive of all the genes. That means I need to either get 28 of these basic genes, or I can get 14 of the fly genes. The basic gene incremented the breeding state by 1. If I have a fly gene, or whatever I'm breeding, if I have the same type of gene, it will increment the state by 2. So it makes sense to, if I can, to use the same genes to combine. Well, I'm going to go ahead and process all of these and see what I can come up with. Let's do this thing. 9 hours later. Okay, well, it was more like 10. I have a completed night vision gene and 21 of 28 for the fly. So we'll continue with night vision. Next thing we need to do is combine it, but we need the syringe and blood. Oh, ow, oh, ouch. Okay, got some blood, and we toss that into the centrifuge, which will give it a nice spin. Alright, we have our centrifuged blood. That goes into the combiner along with our completed gene. Spin, 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 spin. And now we have our filled syringe, which needs to be centrifuged again. At which point, this syringe now has the night vision gene in it. You just inject yourself with it, and you get the kind of woozy effect of too many drugs, and you now have the night vision gene. Next thing you'd want to do is make a backup copy, so in case you die, you don't lose it. So, ouch, get a little bit more blood. Let's go ahead and toss a little bit more fuel in, and you centrifuge your blood, and then store that resulting syringe. That way, if you die, then all the genes that are inside that syringe are available for you. You just come to your chest, wherever it happens to be, pick up your syringe, inject yourself, and boom, you're back in business. Is it that easy? Yes, it's just that easy. Okay, it's not all that easy, but it is something that can be done. And now a word as far as sharing genes. Just say no. In my opinion, Advanced genetics is such a pain, it's such a labor to go through. Why would you take that and just hand it off to anybody else? It makes sense to me, selfish, evil, mad scientist that I am, to keep my genes with me and not spread them off to anybody else. Let them go through the labor. Let them go through the effort, and then they will appreciate those genes much better. Me, I'm going to go off and find another test subject to torture. Bye.